Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. Tact, the ability to describe others as they see themselves. Elections belong to the people. It's their decision. If they decide to turn their back on the fire and burn their behinds, then they will just have to sit on their blisters. I will prepare and someday my chance will come. No man has a good enough memory to be a successful liar. The best thing about the future is that it comes one day at a time. My father taught me to work, but not to love it. I never did like to work, and I don't deny it. I'd rather read, tell stories, crack jokes, talk, laugh, anything but work. I have always found that mercy bears richer fruits than strict justice. If you once forfeit the confidence of your fellow citizens, you can never regain their respect and esteem. It is true that you may fool all of the people some of the time. You can even fool some of the people all of the time. But you can't fool all of the people all of the time. All I have learned, I learned from books. Things may come to those who wait, but only the things left by those who hustle. I care not for a man's religion whose dog and cat are not the better for it. You cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today. Every man's happiness is his own responsibility. I am in favor of animal rights as well as human rights. That is the way of a whole human being. I do not think much of a man who is not wiser today than he was yesterday. It's not me who can't keep a secret. It's the people I tell that can't. In this sad world of ours, sorrow comes to all, and, to the young, it comes with bitterest agony, because it takes them unawares. The older have learned to ever expect it. I am anxious to afford some alleviation of your present distress. Perfect relief is not possible, except with time. You cannot now realize that you will ever feel better. Is not this so? And yet it is a mistake. You are sure to be happy again. To know this, which is certainly true, will make you some less miserable now. I have had experience enough to know what I say, and you need only to believe it, to feel better at once. The Lord prefers common-looking people. That is why He made so many of them. It has been my experience that folks who have no vices have very few virtues. You have to do your own growing no matter how tall your grandfather was. You cannot help people permanently by doing for them what they could and should do for themselves. You can tell the greatness of a man by what makes him angry. If this is coffee, please bring me some tea, but if this is tea, please bring me some coffee. I am a firm believer in the people. If given the truth, they can be depended upon to meet any national crisis. The great point is to bring them the real facts, and beer. It is difficult to make a man miserable while he feels worthy of himself and claims kindred to the great God who made him. A house divided against itself cannot stand. I believe this government cannot endure, permanently half slave and half free. I do not expect the Union to be dissolved. I do not expect the house to fall, but I do expect it will cease to be divided. It will become all one thing or all the other. I am not concerned that you have fallen, I am concerned that you arise. As a nation, we began by declaring that all men are created equal. We now practically read it, all men are created equal, except Negroes. When the know-nothings get control, it will read, all men are created equal, except Negroes, and foreigners, and Catholics. When it comes to this, I should prefer emigrating to some country where they make no pretense of loving liberty, to Russia, for instance, where despotism can be taken pure, and without the base alloy of hypocrisy. To ease another's heartache is to forget one's own. The better part of one's life consists of his friendships. The probability that we may fail in the struggle ought not to deter us from the support of a cause we believe to be just. I don't know who my grandfather was. I am much more concerned to know what his grandson will be. Achievement has no color. When I get ready to talk to people, I spend 2/3 of the time thinking what they want to hear and 1/3 thinking about what I want to say. From whence shall we expect the approach of danger? Shall some transatlantic military giant step the earth and crush us at a blow? Never. All the armies of Europe and Asia could not by force take a drink from the Ohio River or make a track on the Blue Ridge in the trial of 1,000 years. No, if destruction be our lot, we must ourselves be its author and finisher. As a nation of free men, we will live forever or die by suicide. 77 years ago our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty, and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Be with a leader when he is right, stay with him when he is still right, but leave him when he is wrong. I do the very best I know how, the very best I can, and I mean to keep on doing so until the end. No matter how much the cats fight, there always seem to be plenty of kittens. Quote, the Bible is not my book nor Christianity my profession. I could never give assent to the long, complicated statements of Christian dogma. We should be too big to take offense and too noble to give it. If there is anything that links the human to the divine, it is the courage to stand by a principle when everybody else rejects it. I have come to the conclusion never again to think of marrying, and for this reason, I can never be satisfied with anyone who would be blockhead enough to have me. The ballot is stronger than the bullet. You can have anything you want if you want it badly enough. You can be anything you want to be, do anything you set out to accomplish if you hold to that desire with singleness of purpose. The greatest fine art of the future will be the making of a comfortable living from a small piece of land. As I would not be a slave, so I would not be a master. This expresses my idea of democracy. My great concern is not whether you have failed, but whether you are content with your failure.